KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust, serving Micronesia since 1938. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Cars Plus. Drive home in a brand new 2021 Hyundai Palisade equipped with Guam's only lifetime powertrain limited warranty. Call 477-7807 or visit carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant. Always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Ahead on primetime, the Department of Public Health gears up for another round of vaccinations, this time for Manamku 60 years and older. Plus, the trial of former Zonya Mayor Jesse Blas is set to begin tomorrow morning. And the Mayor's Council of Guam met for the first time today and got right down to business.
Hafa day and good evening. I'm Adriana Cotero. Public Health has adjusted the guidelines for Phase 1C, lowering the age range for Manamku to 60 years or older for vaccinations. And this draws some concerns from the Mayor's Council of Guam. MCOG Vice President Sinahanya Mayor Robert Hoffman.
1,060-year-olds on this island, or 60 and above. So that's a massive logistics undertaking. And I was saying this line is going to be to the mall and to Dededo Church, just going into Ukudu. I was asking last night, I said, maybe it's better to get the 60 to 75 that have comorbidities, that have had diabetes and cancer and heart disease, and get them, the vulnerable first, then kind of go up the chain on the age group.
Beginning tomorrow, January 7th through Saturday, January 9th from noon to 3 p.m. Individuals 30 years or older may receive the COVID-19 vaccine at Ukudu High School. Additionally, DPHSS is reaching out to the village mayors for a homebound list of Manamku in order to go to their residents to administer the vaccine. Although, according to Mayor Hoffman, a new problem has arisen.
A lot of the mayors have been actively getting those information, putting in the maps, putting in the phone numbers, sending it up to public health. But one of the things that actually we were able to discover or hear about yesterday was a lot of the Manamko that got the vaccine a few days ago or a few weeks ago don't really want to get the second dose if they have to stand in line for hours at a time.
And just to clarify, it is 60 years or older, and the mayors will be submitting their homebound list on Friday, January 8th. If you meet this requirement, you are urged to contact your mayor office. According to DPHSS Public Information Officer Janela Carrera, Public Health will begin homebound testing tomorrow for those 75 years or older. If you are an individual in quarantine who meets the eligibility criteria to receive the COVID-19 vaccine, you can be placed on a priority list to be administered the doses once you are cleared from quarantine. According to DPHSS PIO Janela Carrera, the individual must fall under the Phase 1A and Phase 1C category. And if so, then you must contact officials at the quarantine facility to make a request for vaccination. Once cleared, then the individual will be placed at the front of the line at the next available vaccination clinic. As for Phase 1B, Carrera says Public Health is in direct contact with respective agencies for essential frontline workers. By the end of this week, we could know just how long former Zonya Mayor Jesse Blas will have to spend in jail. His sentencing hearing is scheduled to begin tomorrow morning in District Court. Blas faces a maximum of 20 years in prison, but two of his former colleagues with the Mayor's Council of Guam are asking for leniency. Pleading guilty to one count of extortion for permitting drug trafficking through Zonya Village mailboxes, former Mayor Jesse Mingiola Blas has reserved the right to testify on his own behalf. According to court filings by the defense, two witnesses scheduled to testify include the government's confidential informant, Brenda Kinian, and the former public official's son, Colin Blas. As for the government, Assistant U.S. Attorney Laura Sambataro also plans to call up Kinian, FBI case agent Rafael Fernandez, and HSI Special Agent Erwin Fajarin. With the former village leader facing up to 2 decades behind bars, several letters of leniency from family and friends have been sent to Chief Judge Francis Tidinko Gatewood, including a pleading from Mayor's Council of Guam Executive Director Angel Sablan in his personal capacity.
Former Mayor Jesse Blas has been a friend of mine long before he became a mayor and long before I became the Executive Director of the Mayor's Council of Guam. And my upbringing is that, you don't just let go of your friends because they're in bad times. He's already admitted to his crime. His future is wrecked. His children are not going to be able to be with him. His life is, sure he may have ruined other people's lives, but everybody deserves a second chance.
In his letter, Sablan says the indictment was a total shock and disbelief, and that as a personal friend, he was the first to publicly suggest he resign from the mayor position. As we reported, Blas gave up the seat not long after he was detained.
I believe that sitting there in jail for the past year, that he's probably learned a lot and is very regretful. And so I just felt it upon myself that, as a friend, to ask the court to consider what he has gone through. And I know that whatever happens, that he'll be a changed person.
Blas's former colleague and friend, Agate Mayor Kevin Sasuiko, sent a character letter to the court. He says he has known Blas for 5 years, and the municipalities of Agate and Mzonia support and encourage each other to achieve the goals set forth for their constituents and community. Mayor Sasuiko stated, quote, Mr. Blas displayed great respect and love for his position and new career as the mayor of Mzonia. In all hosted events and projects completed by Mr. Blas as mayor, he placed his heart and commitment from start throughout completed. I have gained respect for Mr. Blas towards all he has put forth for his municipality with pride and love, unquote. Mayor Sasuiko concluded his letter quoting Bible scripture John 8:7, which reads, Let him among you who is without sin be the first to cast a stone. Chief Judge has cleared her calendar for the expected 2-day-long sentencing hearing. 25-year-old Austin Kittiquah's criminal sexual conduct case has been dismissed without prejudice by the Superior Court of Guam. A decision and order was issued by Judge Dana Gutierrez granting the government's motion for dismissal. Kittiquah faced first-degree criminal sexual conduct as a first-degree felony and 3 counts of second-degree criminal sexual conduct as a first-degree felony. According to court documents, the charges stem from alleged intentional sexual abuse to a minor under the age of 14 years old between December 1, 2018 and July 27, 2019. The motion was filed last month by the government, stating the victim has relocated off island and no longer wishes to pursue the charges. The motion was unopposed by the defense. Additionally, the court vacated Kittiquah's conditional release orders and restrictions. A grand jury indictment comes down on 25-year-old Rona Chutaro, the man who was at large for roughly 3 weeks last month. Chutaro allegedly fatally stabbed victim Arthur Wakuk in Tamuning behind the Docomo headquarters on December 8th. He was wanted by officers, and after an extensive manhunt, Chutaro was located on Christmas Day, along with several others who aided in hiding him. He was indicted for murder as a first-degree felony and aggravated assault as a second-degree felony, both with the special allegation of the possession and use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony attached. He was dismissed from murder charges by the Superior Court of Guam. However, the dismissal was without prejudice. Now a grand jury indictment charges Anthony Gregory Mingiola with gun possession charges as third-degree felonies. Mingiola was arrested in June for the fatal shooting of Joey Zamara. The court granted the dismissal motion after evidence determined Mingiola acted in self-defense and was protected under Guam's Castle Doctrine law. Mingiola was scheduled to appear for his arraignment hearing. However, previous defense counsel, the McDonald Law Firm, withdrew from the case. The court appointed the Public Service Defender Corporation to represent him. A continued arraignment was set for February 5th. Mingiola remains on house arrest. 19-year-old Jeremy Janelle Alvarez pleads not guilty to murder charges. He appeared for his arraignment hearing before Superior Court Magistrate Judge Jonathan Kwan this afternoon. Alvarez waived both the reading of the indictment and his rights to a speedy trial. He is accused for the death of 77-year-old Sue Cha Park Allen. The elderly woman was found in a Sinahanya residence, face down with blood and a hammer near her head. The teenager allegedly hit Allen multiple times with a hammer because she denied him Xanax and touched him inappropriately. His next court appearance will be in Judge Vern Perez's courtroom. A date has not yet been set. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, who has been the lead on the island's homeless situation during the pandemic, says safety and security will be one of the major focuses of discussions during their upcoming OHAP meeting. Lieutenant Governor cited a video of a riot near the global dorms as a reason why these issues were brought to the forefront.
Based on that riot that we saw outside of the facility in the streets, we're just not sure who they were, but we'll take a look and see and make sure that we address and keep that community safe, including the inhabitants of the dorm.
According to CSS Global Dorm Site Manager Mike Suzuki, the riot was between minors at Global Dorms and others in the neighborhood. The minors involved had been drinking. A police report has been filed, however, no arrests have been made. According to new OHAP Executive Director Sarah Thomas Nedadog, a meeting was held yesterday to discuss what happened and how best to go about implementing preventative measures. Nedadog says she will be presenting a recommended plan of action to the governor and lieutenant governor. Recently, Department of Public Health and Social Services received reports of 2 confirmed and 6 probable leptospirosis cases. As we previously reported, there were cases late last year. All have since been treated with antibiotics. Leptospirosis is a bacteria that is spread by the urine of animals such as feral pigs and most often contracted by humans through an open cut in water or mud. Although 95% of cases are mild and resemble the flu, 5% are more severe, resulting in extremes such as kidney shutdown. People who feel sick with a fever and think they have the disease, consult your doctor. The infection has commonly been seen in people who have been hiking or swimming in streams and rivers in the southern part of the island. And before we head into break, the Joint Information Center reports 21 new cases of COVID-19 were identified out of 554 tests performed on Tuesday. 4 cases were identified through contact tracing. 1 case reported recent travel and was identified in quarantine. To date, there have been a total of 7,378 officially reported cases of COVID-19, with 123 deaths, 110 cases in active isolation, and 7,145 not in active isolation. The current CAR score is 1.2. Stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
While we've all been through a lot over the years,
typhoons, earthquakes, and now COVID-19,
we've been able to get through these together.
For more than 80 years,
Calvo's Insurance has been protecting your homes, your businesses,
and the health of your family.
We are here today and we'll be here tomorrow.
There are better days ahead. Tomorrow's a new day filled with hope and choices.
The possibilities of what we can achieve together are limitless.
Let's continue to work together to ensure a brighter tomorrow for all of us.
We get it. Living to the fullest is tough during COVID-19. You don't need to do it alone, and everyone needs a hand right now. We are here. Feeling overwhelmed? Call 647-8833 and let's talk. Mangagihem is a project of Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center.
So long, nacho fries.
Whenever Taco Bell takes them off the menu, he can't escape the cravings. Nacho fries.
Escape your cravings with our nacho fries box. Run to Taco Bell.
KUAM News, winner of the 2020 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Social Media.
With the governor planning on reopening schools on the 18th, many of us can't help but wonder about our island's change in Peak Corps status. With COVID numbers and hospitalizations down, rapid testing and contact tracing readily available, the reopening of almost all businesses, and the vaccine on island. When will we see the end of this odd limbo? According to Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio, based on the data, we may finally be seeing a light at the end of the tunnel.
I couldn't guarantee, but I would expect strongly that that we would change PCORs prior to the actual face-to-face return. I'm not a betting man, but I bet on that.
Lieutenant Governor said it's still unclear about what status Guam will be changed to and that they're evaluating the PCOR mechanisms the administration established. But it's clear that they're doing everything they can to prevent history from repeating itself.
I don't know if you remember, we went from PCOR 1 to PCOR 3 and things looked great. And then we had, those infections that came in from the States that went through the funerals and caused this situation. So we definitely don't want to return to that.
Although the island is eager to head into the direction of economic recovery, the lieutenant reminds us that we still need to be careful. COVID is still heavy in other areas of the world. Southern California has reached a point of crisis. The Philippine government has shut down its borders from travelers that are not Filipino citizenship. And in New York, a new, stronger strain of the virus has been found. The airport announced a change to its terminal entry procedures. Effective Tuesday, persons with disabilities, unaccompanied minors, and those with special needs that require assistance will be allowed to bring in one other person to help them. Entry to the terminal is only allowed at 2 points, at the basement level from the public parking lot and the ground level west ticket lobby door. Departing passengers are also being thermally screened before check-in. Those who register above normal readings will be sent to a secondary inspection station for further evaluation by medical staff. GIAA has also limited entry to active travelers, on-duty employees, and contractors providing authorized airport services. While containing the coronavirus dominated the headlines in 2020, focus is slowly shifting to economic recovery. The government's priority won't just be about boosting businesses, but also cutting costs, says Majority Leader Talina Nelson. Speaking today on The Link Show, she suggested that some agencies like the Hagåtña Restoration and Redevelopment Authority may lose funding.
We're in this economic standstill, and it's a very, very powerful entity. And so we need to see what we can do to prioritize the funding elsewhere, prioritize the funding in our hospital, prioritize the funding to help our businesses stand back up, prioritize the funding for our education, those type of agencies.
The Legislative Education Committee chairperson says in the face of dwindling revenues, Guam may be forced into being a lot more selective in its budget allocations.
Like the speaker said, we cut over $60 million in our budget last year. And it was a very difficult pill for me to swallow because, Guam Department of Education also took a hit. And so I was very concerned with that because it is about our children. And now we're not collecting revenues that we anticipated that we would collect. And that's also very, very concerning for me.
Nelson was not clear about whether to eliminate HRRA or cut back on its funding. On Monday, GDOE nurses and teachers reported to campus for training on the safety procedures that will be carried out into the school year. Over the course of the pandemic, GDOE nurses have assisted public health operations through conducting rapid testing and vaccination drives. GDOE is currently working on an MOU with DPHSS to continue support when school resumes face-to-face learning come January 19th.
So what we're looking at is as we schedule the days for online learning and for face-to-face learning, when our school nurses and social workers are not required to be at the school sites, we are trying to plan opportunities to ensure that we assist with the testing, and the vaccination drives that public health is putting out there, because we also know that that'll affect our stakeholders as well, and it makes sense to just have a scheduled availability of our employees to assist with that, knowing that it'll help us in our efforts to keep schools and our communities safe.
Fernandez says they will continue to monitor COVID data as the return date nears, but says so far things look really good. According to St. Paul Principal Neil Pineda, they are taking a hybrid approach when it comes to the return of face-to-face instruction.
Students will come in every other day, and one cohort will come in on certain days, another cohort comes in another day, and then every other Friday they'll be coming in.
He says the school implemented their hybrid approach a week before schools were forced to shut down. Although requiring a few tweaks, it was successful. Pineda reports that after sending out a survey to parents, 65% want their child to return to on-campus learning. For the other 35%, however, online distance learning will still be provided. When it comes to health and safety protocols, students can expect the new normal practices, such as temperature checks and social distancing.
In our classrooms, we're only taking half of what we normally, 14 students per classroom, as opposed to the regular 28 or 29 students that we normally have. They're going to be put in their pods during lunchtime, and we're going to monitor them if they're sick. We have an isolation room. We have a nurse, full-time nurse.
There will be no after-school care provided, and students must leave campus by 3:30. As for sports and clubs, those will be placed on hold in the meantime while adjusting to new norm to focus on academics. Newly elected Mayor's Council of Guam President Jessica Lig fills us in on some of the issues the MCOG will be addressing in the new year. Here's more.
The Mayor's Council of Guam held their first monthly meeting of the year today, and as soon as the formalities were taken care of, they got right down to business, starting with an issue that's been an eyesore throughout every village on the island: abandoned vehicles and white goods. MCOG President Jesse Alex says it's the red tape slowing everything down.
So we've been waiting for the purchase orders from the Recycling Revolving Fund to clear out the abandoned vehicles, junk vehicles, and the white goods, tires, and green waste. And so I know we did announce that we're working on it and that we're hoping to have the POs ready by the end of the month. But of course, it's going through the government process of approval, and that's our holdup.
Despite the hard work and dedication of each respective mayor's office, village mayors often find themselves in a no-win scenario when it comes to current laws that hinder their ability to get the job done.
We're talking about all this other policy that is kind of left hanging and with no resolution. So I'm hoping that with our new term, we can work with our mayors together collectively on policy, or revisit policy, existing policy, to either strengthen it, that gives us authority, or create or help create policy to help us execute our work.
A topic that sparked some pretty impassioned commentary was that of citations. Village mayors will be going through an all-day training session on citations later this month. Alex says in many instances, their hands are tied.
We have the authority to cite for stray animals that are pets that are loose, pets that are attacking people, pets that are a nuisance, and then also for illegal dumping. But we can't cite for an abandoned vehicle that's on easement. We can't cite for certain things that are, like I said, there's a vehicle that's parked on the roadside for months. There's nothing we can do.
Alex says citations aren't just a slip of paper.
For years, the mayors have had that authority, but it's only recently that we've been given the citation books and the citation training. It's still kind of new for some mayors, and we want them to know that it's a tool, really, to keep the environment safe and to keep our neighborhoods clean. It's not just about giving people a citation so that they can pay a fine.
But since the fines collected through the citations don't actually go to the mayor's offices but instead to the courts, MTM Mayor Rudy Paco suggested that they be divided, with a portion going back to the mayor's council to then be put back into the community. And for something like that to happen, it'll take some teamwork.
We need to be as a team here. We need to work with the legislature and the administration and all the other agencies to get our work done.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Peter Santos.
Coming up, more primetime news. You're watching KUAM.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
It makes myself and it makes my team members very proud to work for an organization that has been on island for many years, with its focus on reliability, dependability, and commitment to the communities that they operate in.
Matson's a great corporate citizen to the community.
We all benefit from any sort of environmental commitment we make. One of the ways that we do that is with our Adahi Utano program. There's action behind it, and so action breeds commitment.
With the Kaimana Hila coming to Guam, this brings a new age and modernization to the island.
It's exciting for me because it's a brand new ship and we can carry more freight into the islands. It just shows growth for Guam and Micronesia.
Matson would be nothing without its customers, and we hope to continue to serve you for decades to come.
It takes all of us to protect Guam. Join the Guam Visitors Bureau in our social media campaign series aimed to protect our island and each other in this COVID-19 era. Participate in the Protect Guam movement by wearing your mask, showcasing Guam's heroes, staying active, and downloading the Guam COVID Alert app. Post and share your content with us, use the hashtag ProtectGuam, and you could win $100. It's that simple. Check out visitguam.com for details. Let's reclaim our lives, our economy, and our tourism industry.
Enjoy honey sesame chicken breast at Panda Express. Be the sweetness. Be the freshness.
Be the crispy tender sesame seed perfection. That's how you find your sweet spot. Have it delivered from Panda Express today.
Aganya Shopping Center.
The Guam Visitors Bureau is continuing its #ProtectGuam campaign, enlisting the help of some of the island's key opinion leaders to motivate our community to do what we can to all stay safe and healthy. This week, our Andy Wheeler talked with GBB's Craig Camacho and influencer Francesca De Ora about how they're getting the mission done.
And, one great way to get people to join up, you got to incentivize them by giving out a little bit of money. So there is some cash involved in this. Talk about that.
Yeah. So, for each of the 4 categories, we'll be giving out $100 to 10 winners in each of those 4 photo contents. And so you can actually share your COVID experiences under those 4 categories by posting on Instagram. And again, you have to post them publicly, just FYI. But also you can go on our landing page on visitguam.com where you can see there's a huge Protect Guam site landing page there that you can go ahead and upload all your photos and share your experiences. And I said it during the last show with Victorious, it's extremely important that we share our stories. It's extremely important that we share our experiences. These are the things that are helping us through this, these are the things that help each other kind of get through this, knowing that we've been through, different situations. And, I'm excited because, we brought in these KOLs, key opinion leaders in our community to kind of help, spread that message and kind of gather people in to help, do their part against COVID again.
Yeah, that's a great segue to introduce our key opinion leader joining us here, Francesca Hoffaday. Good morning.
Hoffaday, Andy. Hoffaday, Craig, everybody.
Hey. So GBB approached you to be a KOL, a key opinion leader. How did that go about? How was that conversation?
So I don't know about being a key opinion leader, but I'm really flattered always to work with GBB on any of the campaigns. I started working with GBB mostly last year for tourism things, and it's really nice to see how GBB has really pivoted to catering more to the community and catering to this conversation about COVID, especially as we get towards the end of it, or what feels like a long time in this situation. So yeah, I was just reached out. I was reached out to by Robbie from GBB and Talent Basket, along with a whole cohort of other influencers. And I was really interested in the campaign because it really focused on our stories and sharing Guam Heroes, which was the campaign that I was asked to be a part of. And I was really excited to take part in that conversation.
Well, then let's go ahead and talk about your Guam hero. Who is it?
So my posts on social media were about all of us who still take this pandemic seriously, who still follow the protocols, who still wear their masks and move out of consideration and compassion and love for everybody in our community. Because wearing your mask, socially distancing, taking time and space away from your family and your friends is a big sacrifice, especially for our community where we're used to having so much social interaction with one another and time with each other. Like, in the beginning of the pandemic, it was really difficult for me to spend time away from like my grandmother. This year was the least amount of time I've spent with her, like in my whole life, aside from when I lived off of the island. So it was a big sacrifice for me to take that much time away from my family.
Your birthday shoutouts when we return.
For the different beats of your life, we're here to keep you connected the way you want it. Plans made for you, by you. Build your own bundle with Link. Select the internet, entertainment, mobile, and home phone plans that fit your lifestyle. Pay for what you want, not for what you don't. Build your own bundle and save with Link.
For all those going out each day, doing what they can to hold us all together. we're here to help those helping us all by keeping our lights on.
And before we close out the news tonight, your latest round of birthday shoutouts in the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
January 5th is a great day to have a birthday, and we've got some fantastic birthday shoutouts tonight, everybody. Up first is Gabriel Donato, whose birthday shoutout goes like this. 10 years ago, the doctor said you're not going to live for more than a year, but God is faithful. He has a plan. We praise God for your life. Happy 10th birthday to Gabby, and your family says they love you. Tanya Mendiola also has a birthday today, so happy birthday to you, Tanya, from all of your friends here at KUAM and Cold Stone Creamery. And a single belated birthday recipient, because born on January the 4th, Gavin Vincent Kitigua. Happy birthday number 17 to my son from his family, Mom, Papa, and his brothers and sisters. We love you, boy, they say. So Gavin, happy 17th, happy birthday to you, Tanya and Gabriel, and may each of you have a wonderful, blessed day.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.